All right, we're back. I got the dirt mixed. You can see there's no dry spots. I got this bucket here to scoop the dirt in to put it in the tower. And before I forget, I'm going to show you how I do this so that the dirt doesn't get into the center of the tower. So you got this set up. I showed you that part. You can see that the little filter thing is in there. Now I'm going to put this other ring on there and find the little hole so it latches down in there. It's got little tongues on it. So let me flip you around here. And you can see me put it together maybe. There you can kind of see it. Got so much stuff in the way. Okay. So once it's in that groove and you got the groove lined up, remember those little lips on the side, you got to make sure that they're all tucked in and locked. So last year I think I whacked it with a board. This year I'm probably going to have to whack it with a board. Yeah, because my hands aren't strong enough to just do it. So let me get a board. Alright, watch the struggle. Here's a board. We're going to put it on here so we don't ruin that plastic. And just pop it down in there. Yeah, it's lined up. It just takes a couple of whacks. There we go. It's good and locked in there. Alright, now I'll start filling the soil. Alright, now I'm going to fill this here bucket up and basically scoop a bunch of dirt in here, put it in this hole, and scoop the dirt in. Now before I pour this dirt into the tower, it comes with this handy dandy little lid that I'll show you. Handy dandy lid. I'm going to put this on the top of it so that none of the dirt gets inside the actual tower as I'm filling it. So then you just dump the dirt around it until each level is full. So you can see, just kind of shoveling the dirt into the bucket and pour it around the rings till it gets full. So I'll go ahead and do this and come back in a second when I'm ready to add the next tier or level, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so you can see I got it filled up a bit. And now before I go ahead and put any more in, take this little top off, add another ring, and do it again. Just like this. Take this little top off here. I'm going to grab me another handy dandy ring right here. I'm going to wipe this off a little bit so it's not filthy dirty. Line it up here. Make sure it's good and lined up. Whoops. Give it a little whack. And that really doesn't do good because I'm not that strong. So here comes the board again. Pop, down it goes. And now I'll put the lid back on. And actually I probably better put another tier on here. Just to make sure I don't overfill it. Remember the pegs, you just line up these pegs in the holes. And most of the time, there we go. It just sits right on in there. So I'll go ahead and fill it up with some more soil and continue doing this all the way up till it's all full. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what it's like. Okay? Okay. We're almost to the top of it. We got one ring left. And here's where it gets tricky. Okay, here's where it gets tricky. is when you're filling it, you have to make sure that all of the pockets get filled. So you got to kind of push some of that dirt down and make sure that it's nice and full like this, and all the way around. Now the last one is that guy there with no holes. So let me show you how we're going to do this. And this is where the twist ties come in. Not the twist ties, the zip ties. So let me get this up here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Maybe I can stick you here. There you go. You'll stand up. All right. So we're going to put this top one on here, just like we did the other ones. Line up the hole. Make sure it gets situated. There we go. That one worked without even having the board. Okay, now let's give you a close-up quick so you can see this. Hands are pretty dirty, but let's see if I can show you. All right. Now remember these little holes here I showed you on all of them? This is where we're going to put the zip ties. So we're going to put the last ring on. And hang on a minute. Let me get that last ring on. And I'll be right back to show you how this works. Alright, now let me show you this. By the way, filthy dirty hands. Alright, remember those are the holes. And see there's holes inside here. I'm going to take those zip ties and I'm going to put it through here and tighten it to hold this centerpiece tight. Let me come over here and get these zip ties. The little guys down the hill are home, so we're going to try and do this one-handed. All right. So here you can see things. Here, how about if we just one zip tie at a time so they don't get on the dirt while I'm trying to do this. All right. So I'm going to stick it in this hole. Cha-cha-cha. I'm going to pull it up here. You see this hole here. I got to get it to twist right first of all because I got it backwards. All right. And now we're going to stick it. Can you see that? Yeah. In this hole. There it is. And now I stick it together. So let me see if I can. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. No, I don't think so. Well, see if I can stick you here. Can you maybe prop up there without getting dirty? Let me pause you and get a board. Alright, well that's about the best view we're going to get for you without my phone getting dirty. So you can see here's the big part, here's the tip. I'm going to stick it in there and pull it tight. And I'll do that all the way around with every single zip tie to make sure it's completely secure. And then we'll fill it with the rest of the dirt. Alrighty, and now you'll see I've got 3 on one side, 2 in one, so that it's nice and secure, not going anywhere. You can actually see the whole thing wobble when I shake it. And now we're just going to top it off with soil and be ready for when it gets warm, and then we can start seeds and transplant whatever I start inside. We still got a couple weeks before our last frost date. So let me go ahead and finish topping this off with soil, and then I will show you what it looks like. All right, guys, we got it all topped off. You see it's all full now. I will have to top this off with more soil, but we're going to let it be for now like that. Remember, it was pretty wet from the rain, so the water is going through all of the dirt, coming and collecting down here in the drawer. And I'll take that water And just that first batch or two of water out of that drawer, I'll just take it and put it back on the top and let it run all the way through. And that's because if you remember, we did put organic fertilizer in there, and there is no worms in there right now. We're not putting the worms in yet because we still have below freezing temperatures. So I can't bring the worms out and put them in here until after our last frost date. Now here in a little bit, once this water has ran through, then like I said, I'll put it on the top of the tower. I'll water it through a second time. Whatever's left, then I will go ahead and just top onto the first tower or the old tower to give it a little bit more nutrients. And then before the end of the day, I will go ahead and cover this new tower with the tarp. One, so that it doesn't collect too much more rain, but two, because we don't want the sun shining on it and diminishing the nutrients that are in that soil. Along with, if it does end up snowing, because they're calling for a couple of days of snow, I want this to be covered so there's no bugs or anything getting into it until I can either get a cover crop on it or some mulch, or until it's just time to start sticking seeds in there. But I am going to go ahead and toss a tarp over it just to keep it out of the weather and keep it protected. So that's basically it for the grow towers today. I hope that you enjoyed these videos. I hope you learned something. And just remember, don't be afraid to start something. There's going to be a lot more new things that I'm going to be doing here in the near future. Let me show you a mess all over the porch. So I'm trying to clean up some of this dirt. I save all this as much as I can since it's not in the icky part of the, on the icky part of the porch. We'll save this dirt, shove it in this tote with the remainder till the dirt settles a hair. There is a little bit of dirt left, not much, definitely not a cubic square foot, but okay, there usually isn't much. And like I said, I'll have to top off the old tower before too long anyway, so we'll put some of this new soil in the pockets of the old tower and some of that fertilizer to get it started and boosted so that we can be ready and prepared. Oh, and by the way, the other day when I pulled out, when it rained, and I pulled out the drawer from the first tower, we're going to call that Tower 1 and the new tower, Tower 2. But when I pulled the drawer out from the first tower, because it had so much water in it, I seen that it had 2 worms in there. So there are still squirmy wormies in there, still living, even after winter. Thank goodness. But I do have the rest of them in the house. So, and I'll do a video on that later when it's time. But thank you again for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Remember, you are someone. You do matter. I love you, even with my fingers and hands full of dirt. I will see you on the next video. Until then, ciao now.